we know we've got a good friend. Let me put him on, Congressman Tom Lantos.
A year ago, there was a communist dictatorship in East Germany. Is it there today? No! A year ago, there was a communist dictatorship in Czechoslovakia. Is it there today? No! A year ago, there was a communist dictatorship in Bulgaria. Is it there today? No! A year ago, there was a communist dictatorship in Serbia, and it is there today. I tell you, the winds of freedom and democracy are sweeping the whole of Eastern and Central Europe, and they will not stop at the borders of Kosovo. When I was in Kosovo just a few weeks ago, my car had trouble making the last few yards to the main hotel of Pristina because it had to drive through mountains of flowers that the men, women, and children of Kosovo threw in front of the car, demonstrating their commitment to freedom and democracy and their friendship for the United States. So let me say to you, there are a lot of friends of freedom and democracy and political pluralism in the Congress of the United States. Senator Dole, Senator Pell, Congressman Broomfield, Congressman Porter, myself, and lots of others are determined to see to it that the people of Kosovo have exactly the same democratic privileges, the same rights, the same opportunities that all the people of Central and Eastern Europe have. And we will see to it that the communist dictatorship of Serbia learns to obey the law and stops violating human rights of the people of Kosovo. God bless you all.
Lantos! 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 Rough Kosovo! If we don't do it, we're not going to win, and we can't wait because the door is open now for Kosovo for freedom. It may not be open again for 100 years or 10 years. I don't know. But we can't afford to wait. So if you want me to go all the way, and let me tell you, I don't stop. I went to Chicago. I just came in last night late from Houston. I'm going to Australia tomorrow morning. I'm stopping on the way back to Japan because I want to see if I can get 10,000 people from Kosovo jobs there for 1 year. They're not going to move there, and send them back. And then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to Los Angeles where we're doing a party. And then in August, I'm visiting 6 European countries that are establishing chapters and affiliates of the League. We're going to Brussels. We're going to Germany, Switzerland, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. It's all set up. I'm leaving on August the 19th, so I'm not stopping. Do you want to stop? No! His name is Claiborne Pell. He has stood tall for freedom and democracy everywhere, but he is our biggest supporter right now because he is the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee of the Senate of the United States of America. He's a great man. We support him 100%. Say, Pell! Okay. Now he has to go back to a vote in the Senate, so give him a chance.
Thank you, Joe, for that introduction. I just wanted to come here to say I share your thoughts, regret the abuse to which your cousins and your parents are suffering, Kosovo, hope that we stand firm with you as a country, wish you well, and you have many friends in the Congress, many friends in the United States, and the United States is grateful to you for being Americans and being here, and we share your loyalties and are glad to do so. Thank you. God bless all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you coming, and we'll be with you. We have another great friend, Congressman Ben Gilman. This is our lucky day. Gilman, 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 Gilman. Let me say this. You know, he only found out today that we had this rally, but it shows you an hour ago the heart that this man has for freedom and democracy and for Albanians. And I know he loves you. He loves me. We always kiss each other. He loves America. And believe me, nothing could stop Ben Gilman from being here today, and you should see his schedule. So, USA, 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 USA. Okay, now Congressman Gilman has to go back. He's got hearings, he's got votes, and you can be sure he's going all the way for us with our resolution and with everything else that we need. But I want you to hear it from him, a great friend, Congressman Ben Gilman.
Thank you, Joe. It's great being here with all of you, and you're in an important place right across from the White House, and I hope they're all listening, because this is an important cause for you, for us, for all freedom-loving peoples throughout the world. You know, you couldn't have picked a better supporter for your cause than former Congressman Joe DioGuardi. He's still in our minds, Congressman DioGuardi, who stands for all of the important things we all hold so dearly, and that's human rights throughout the world.
Thank you,
Joe, may you long continue in that effort.
Thank you.
You know, it was former President Eisenhower who said back in 1954 that gradually the age-old longing for the humankind for peace will be reflected in better governmental structures that will be forced to comply with the demands of a great and enlightened citizenry throughout the world. Those words spoken by President Eisenhower in 1954 have never been more poignant than they are today. The raging tide of democratization in Eastern Europe makes them even more salient and makes even more important the issue of human rights and political autonomy for ethnic Albanians in the Kosovo province of Yugoslavia. The recent military presence in Kosovo has provided an ominous reminder, a reminder of the repression that comes from ethnocentric attitudes that have no place in our modern society. Last fall, a delegation of European parliamentarians, and I spoke to them, visited the Kosovo province. They visited it to investigate firsthand the human rights situation in Kosovo. They returned from their visit utterly dismayed by the lack of cooperation exhibited by the Yugoslav government officials. They were not even permitted to visit with the various dissident groups, and they were afforded only second-level meetings with the government officials of Yugoslavia. Recent events in Kosovo have created an ambience of pessimism. The aspirations of ethnic Albanians of that region have been crushed by the Siberian government of Yugoslavia, which refuses to recognize their legitimate desire for autonomy. In April of this year, the president of Yugoslavia did lift the state of emergency in Kosovo, but that has not affected the plight of the ethnic Albanians in that troubled region. It was our sincere hope that the decision to lift the state of emergency was made because the parties involved realized that peaceful negotiations is the only effective way to solve the ethnic problems in that region in a truly democratic manner. But trouble for Albanians in the Kosovo province still continues unabated. over 50 Albanians have been killed in Kosovo over the last year. That killing must stop, and it must stop now. And I want you to know that in the Congress there are many of us who feel, just like Joe DioGuardi has it so deeply embedded in his heart, that we must help these people who've been repressed for so long. And I want to assure you that many of us will continue to fight for freedom, for justice, for liberty in Kosovo, for Albanians everywhere. God bless.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Now, you know, Yugoslavia is not the problem for us. We want to see Yugoslavia stay together. We want Yugoslavia to be prosperous and strong, just like the United States of America is, a diverse country. It's in our national interest and our national security to see Yugoslavia together, remain with its territorial integrity. However, we cannot allow the Albanians to be swallowed up by Serbia. The Albanians need to be treated as equals under the Constitution of Yugoslavia, the federal constitution, with all the other groups. That's all they asked for at the Kosovo Assembly on that date that will go down in history, July 2nd, 1990. All they asked for was to be an individual unit within the Federation and the Confederation of Yugoslavia. Nothing more. They are not separatists. They are not fundamentalists. They are not violent people, terrorists. They are good people like you who just want to fulfill their potential and their families' potentials as human beings, to make themselves strong and to make Yugoslavia stronger. But they don't want to be dominated by another ethnic group, because we are a separate ethnic group. We have our own language, our own culture, our own alphabet, our own history, and we don't want to be dominated anymore. We had enough from the Turks and enough from everyone else for 400 years, and the Serbs. It's about time that the Albanians stood on their own, as they have in the beginning from 6,000 years ago, as a proud and separate culture within Yugoslavia. Raf Kosovo! Now, so you know what I'm doing as I go around. When I was in Kosovo, a woman handed me these pictures with the statements from the Serbian doctors that this young boy, 22, committed suicide, that he turned the rifle on himself, an automatic rifle, while he was on the range. And they told the family, don't dare open that coffin, because if you do, you will be arrested. That is an act of treason. Well, you know, this family could not take the loss of the son, and they decided to open that coffin, and they took some pictures, and then they put it back. And you know, this boy's body is covered with bullets. 3 in the heart, back of the ear, in the back, and then you'll see also how he was beaten. And they could tell us that this boy committed suicide, and they had Serbian doctors certified to that on the autopsy. Now there are about 40 mothers in Kosovo that are joining with Lulieta Pula to want to dig up the graves of their sons so they can see what has happened, because maybe the world will understand this, because this is the apartheid that we face. This is the picture while he was in the coffin. Now you might say that why is he sewed up like that so crudely? They even took out all of his organs to experiment, the Serbian doctors who are becoming physicians in the hospitals. And let me just conclude by saying that he was there for us in the beginning. He's been there for us all the way, and he is no doubt in my mind the most important person we have for changing the misguided policy of our State Department that is trying to stay neutral today on the issue of human rights in Kosovo. So I give you that great senator from Kansas, Senator Bob Dole. Dole! Dole!
How many thousand people do you have? 10,000. Yeah. A lot of people on the grass all the way back. Free Kosovo! 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 All these American flags. that beautiful? These are the terrorists, so-called terrorists.
Well, let me say, first of all, I'm very honored to be here. Very honored to be with my good friend Jim James, whom I've known for several years, and Joe DioGuardi and many others who are in the audience. And I believe in freedom, and I believe in human rights, and I believe it ought to happen in Kosovo at the earliest possible time. We cannot let people be subject to tyranny anymore, oppression anymore. People are entitled to their freedom, they're entitled to their basic rights. And so I agree with the Prime. Free Kosovo, and do it now. Free Kosovo. Let me say that I'll be, maybe, I can't promise you, but I may be in Kosovo about a month from now, trying to do what I can to make certain And if I go there, as I hope to do, I plan to meet with your brothers and sisters, those who've been denied freedom, those who've been oppressed, and if we can, to meet with those who've been the oppressors, and those who've taken away freedom, and those who've taken away human rights, and stomped on human rights. In a world where every day freedom is breaking out all over, Kosovo should be no exception. There should be freedom in Kosovo. There should be freedom in Albania. There should be freedom everywhere in the world. And if I believe we're fortunate. Those of us who live here, Albanian Americans, wherever you may be from, we have democracy, but we want to make certain it's not denied, as I said earlier, to your friends and to your relatives and to your brothers and to your sisters and all the people in Albania, all the people in Kosovo. And I'll do my best, and I'm certain I can speak for many of my colleagues, regardless of their political party, whether Republicans or Democrats. We're in this together. We all either believe in democracy or we don't. And we believe in democracy just as you believe in democracy. And we'll be urging the State Department to take a tougher stand and take a proper stand for freedom and human rights everywhere in the world. Let's stop the oppression. Let's stop the abuse of human rights. Let's stand up for freedom everywhere, just as we stand up for freedom in America. Thank you very much. We'll be on your side.